Hey YouTube, this is Dean making another vid. If you like my content, please consider hitting the like button. Also, please consider subscribing, as it is very much appreciated. Okay, this is a video response to Fech, or Fech. F-E-C-H. I don't know really how to say that. That's his username on YouTube. We're having a bit of a back and forth, and it's not getting through to him. His comprehension level, obviously, it's not getting through to him about Flint and Steel. Mate, you're making a common misconception about Flint and Steel. I've been studying this stuff for at least 3 years and looking into it, and been sparking steel against stone and practicing this for over 3 years now. I've got to the point now where I feel like I'm competent. I can get embers effortlessly without even trying. That's on some Australian black flint. It is not the rocks that make the sparks. That is a misconception and completely wrong. They don't make the sparks. It is the steel and the pyrophoric action that makes the sparks. What you are doing when you're doing this percussion firelighting is you are scraping little bits of steel off your striker, whether be it iron or steel, off your steel as you are striking, and those little bits of steel or iron that are being scraped off are rapidly oxidizing in the air, and they are turning into those sparks. It's called pyrophoric action. Basically, they are rusting so fast that they spontaneously burst into sparks. That's what causes the sparks. And it's a misconception that the rocks cause the sparks, not the steel. So that's where you're going wrong. You can bang two rocks together. That's quartzite and flint, and you can bang them together. You will occasionally get a spark out of it, but it's only because there will be some iron in the rocks, because they don't have pyrophoric action. That's what causes these things to spark. Why you'll get pyrophoric action is iron pyrite. Back in the day, in the Iron Age, or back then, they found macerite, and it had iron. It was iron pyrite, and they were using flint and iron pyrite, and that was where, because iron pyrite looks like a stone, and that's why people got this idea of banging two rocks together to get sparks, but it was actually iron pyrite. So macerite and macerite and flint to get that. So Utsi, the Iceman, had this. He had a flint dagger, macerite, and then tinder fungus, and that was what he had in his fire kit. But that was the problem. That's where you're going wrong, is you're thinking that these things, the stones, are causing the sparks. It is not. That's quartzite. I've got kilos of quartzite. Petrified wood. I can spark off it. It's petrified wood. Flint node from South Australia. Rose quartz. as I said to you, I just posted, I've sparked off so many different types of stone. Obsidian, that's a black obsidian. Now obsidian's pretty soft, it's about as hard as what your steel is. You can get sparks off it. Mahogany obsidian. As I said, quartzite. Flint. That's Australian black flint. Green flint. And that's just rocks around I've got here. I've got black flint over there I could go and get. I didn't bring out any petrified wood. Petrified wood is probably one of my favourites. Yeah, it's pretty easy stuff to once you get to know how it works. These smaller shards I don't really like using. I like rocks about that size, or actually fist size, personally. But that's where you're going wrong, mate. I was probably a bit harsh in my last response. I get frustrated because people firing back at me and not listening. But yeah, you made a common mistake. This is my slow match that I make myself. That one's not really good rock. I need sharp edge. There we go. I treat these with potassium nitrate. That'll just smoulder away. That's smouldering now. These are really good. See, it's starting to smoulder. I really like these. They're good. Yeah. That'll just sit there and smoulder. As I said, it's not the rock, it's the steel that makes the spark. So yeah, and it's a common misconception. But it's an easy one to make because it seems to be intuitive that these are the ones that are doing it. And you do need to be using hard rocks. Anything over about 5.5 Mohs, which is Obsidian's 5.5 Mohs. Just have a look through the Mohs scale. Flint's at 7. Norfolk Flint is probably the best flint you can get. It runs 8. It's been tested over in England. It's probably the best of the flints you can get. I just put that out. Yeah, it's all out now. If you're looking for flints, yeah, Norfolk Flint's probably the best one of it. I bought the Obsidian just to test myself because it's hard to do. It's not hard to do, it's more difficult to use. That's some Australian polypore. It's good because I'm based in Australia. Yeah, that's good stuff. I use nitrated cattail fluff. It's probably one of my favourites. Charred punkwood is another one that I use. That's in one of my pouches. But at the moment I've been putting a lot of my old char cloth. I've just been dumping a lot of that. But it's got punkwood in the bottom there. That's a traditional tinderbox. Yeah. But yeah, don't make the mistake of thinking that your rocks are the ones doing it. Yeah, that's a very common mistake. But yeah, it's your steel that's actually doing it. And yeah, just forget about the rocks. The rocks are not so important because you can find quartzite anywhere. That's where I was always worried about getting flint, and flint's good, but I work with quartzite most of the time now. It's a better, not a better stone, but it's more available and easier to get, especially in Australia, because Australia's not known for flint. You basically, unless you're in South Australia, which I'm not, you're not going to get flint, and yeah, quartzite is more available. It doesn't last as long, it's not as robust in the edge, it degrades a lot quicker, but still a viable stone. It sparks really well, but yeah, the edge burns out a lot quicker. So yeah, if you're into flint and steel, and flint and steel is a catch-all. A lot of people are starting to say stone and steel because, yeah, not everyone uses flint, but I still call it flint and steel, and we all know that that's just a catch-all because it's just whatever hard stone you're using and your steels. Not many people use iron anymore because, yeah, it's not as good because I tried to use Rio bar because I'm making my own strikers now. That's one I made myself out of a file. Iron doesn't have very good carbon content, and the higher the carbon content, the better it is, and you can harden it quite well, and the harder you can get it and the higher the carbon content, the better it'll spark, from my experience. So yeah, but anyway, I hope this clears it up. I'm sorry if I was a little bit abrasive. Yeah, it tends to be, I just get sick of having to rehash this over and over again because it's such a misconception. Constantly, everyone seems to be always thinking it's this, and I've said it 1,000 times. But anyway, yeah, I apologise for that. Yeah, I did fire off a bit hard. But anyway, hopefully this one is a little bit less confrontational. And yeah, I hope if I've explained it a bit better, and you're getting it, get it, like you see what I'm getting at. And yeah, I do apologise if I fired off a bit too hard. Anyway, I'm going off on a tangent, but that's the basics of it. Yeah, as you said, there are many viable rocks around to spark on. Yeah, there's plenty of them around. At first, when I first got into it, I thought Australia didn't have any rocks at all, and then I made myself look like an idiot because there are so many rocks around that you can spark on. But anyway, I'll sign this off. I don't like making too long a video. Thanks for watching.